This is the 8th part of an EU4 portion of a mega campaign following the story of House Torres, originally a minor noble family from Sardinia. It's hard to admit you are not as strong as you thought. Honesty and power rarely go hand in hand. For House Torres, this has become a reality over the course of the last 50 years, as our power has slowly waned in Europe. For the other powers there, this is something they are only beginning to fully see. The East, long thought of as backwards and a barbaric place in Europe, is now revealed for what it is: superior. In Karakoram, the seat of the Mongolian Empire, one which never fell, innovation is like sand, as common and a part of everyday life as one would expect. The mandate of heaven rules in the Ming, whose empire is not a stagnant one, but rather quickly growing, colonizing, and expanding. And in Japan, two rival powers fight, but do so through a colonial race already on the shores of California and on the coast of Australia. House Torres finds itself one of many powers who are being relegated to a minor status as the lens of history shifts east. Will we be able to adapt or be simply left in its wake?
And Byzantium refused to join. Vladimir refused to join. All right, we're at war with Castile again. And they engaged our fleet immediately too. We have anyone on our side right now? Lotharingia joined. They do have a good amount of troops. It's nothing compared to Castile. We don't have the troops to contend them, period. We don't have the allies to fight them. I'm thinking here that we need to just try and get the best deal possible to not get completely shafted. Right, let's see what they want. They want all our colonial concessions. Fuck. Nope. All right, let's try something else. I'd rather give them North Africa than the Caribbean. I don't want to give them colonial lands. Like, we need that. If we don't have colonies, there's nothing left. It's not the worst. It's bad, though. So what obviously has happened here is the current ruling class in Sardinia had thought that they'd managed to secure some degree of protection and stability. The selling of mainland land to Castile in Iberia, as well as the shift to new alliances in the east, had given the burgher power, which now for the most part rules in Sardinia, massive amounts of control. They really built their power on the assumption that through trade, through concessions, they'd be able to build economic power through these systems. Now, this is interesting in many ways, because what this has done is effectively proven they're wrong, right? The status had always been under that assumption that these new alliances would give us protection, that we'd be able to pursue new world colonies and trade through what they offered. But when the moment came and Castile came knocking once more, our allies abandoned us and we were forced to make a massive trade concession, or massive concession broadly speaking. I would say that for the most part, this would probably really weaken the status and would potentially give the monarchs a lot of power. Now, this is what ruling actually was. You never know what the fuck is actually going to happen, and everything you build is on the shakiest of foundations. Here's the plan. We're going to try and rebuild our alliance with Byzantium. I'm going to curry favors. We're going to get their trust up to max. We'll support them. When Vladimir loses this war, they're going to lose a lot of ground. We may be able to help them get strong again, but that really requires us fighting the Swedes and their allies, which will be rough, but is potentially doable. If we also get an alliance with Lithuania, we're allying Eastern powers. So if we can get that triple block there and some way find a way for Vladimir to get strong again, we have a chance. Byzantium did immediately re-ally us. We need a place to run and hide. I was gonna work on the Caribbean. We're actually, I think, gonna work more on getting more colonies down here in the south. Because as far as I see it, we are gonna need a place to go if we lose Europe. It's clear that the Pope is no longer infallible. He has proclaimed that colonial Eastern America is to be the sole domain of France. Yeah, they've got a colony there too. Florida. Antonio Sisa Asinari has corrupt connections We try to keep our administration free of dishonest individuals, but we cannot always account for the friends and contexts which got them to where they are. Antonia Cisa Esinari has unfortunately turned out to be a good example of the problems that follow from this. Recent investigations have revealed that much of our well-built trade network relies on bribes, smuggling, and other dubious activities to reach its current level of efficiency. We're a secretive leader. If it works, it works. That's all I'm saying. We do what we have to in times like these to remain even semi-relevant. We lost an explorer as well. We haven't done any exploration in a long time. Let's do that, actually. Byzantium is doing a war against the natives near us. We will join. All right, it's going to be a colonial Byzantium. Oh my fucking god! All the natives united. What if they actually managed to hold out? I mean, like, France has got a very sizable colony there, and I think they're going to struggle to beat that. But, man, if they actually hold out together, we got another colony. Let's keep going down the coastline here, honestly, so no one else can get in here. We really got to move quicker in Brazil. I'm going to really focus in here. Chancellor Simeone is looking entirely to the New World. I mean, oh, we did. Okay, we will get Cuba. So that is going to be directly overseen by the monarch. So by our King Lysandro III. He named it after himself. Well, really after his ancestor, but we're making really good income again. All right, we paid off our last loan. We have a really good surplus. We're making so much off of production. Byzantium's got 30,000 men walking through middle of Arcadia. So many of them would be dead. So many. We can go after Cusco. We've heard rumors of these large political entities on the western coast of Arcadia. Rumor has it they've been untouched by the Spanish up until now. They're ripe for the taking. And even more so, seem to have quite a lot of gold, at least when we've talked with them and traded. We've managed to get a lot of gold off of them for really nothing at all, which suggests that somewhere in these kingdoms, these nations, whatever the hell these heathens are made up of, there's a lot of gold. It'd be very risky. If we couldn't land there, we'd have no way to provision our ships, and it's all mountains. For the printing industry, the ability to mass produce the written word would revolutionize the spread of information, and in many ways, early modern society as a whole. Pioneered by Renaissance men such as Venetian printer Aldus Manutius, a new art helped fuel the Renaissance by making the translated classics more widely available. Later, the Reformation benefited greatly from the ability to spread critical publications and translations of the Holy Scriptures. Now the printing has matured as a technique and spread throughout Asia. Hundreds of thousands of copies of everything from religious and political pamphlets to scientific treatises and instructions on how to behave are circulating the continent. With print shops growing ever more commonplace, rulers have found it hard to contain the new technique. Who got it? Let's take a look. There's the institutions. Mongolia invented the printing press. This is actual Mongolia. Just a reminder, guys, that this isn't some knockoff. This is the actual OG Mongols Genghis Khan conquered with from the Grand Campaign. They're still alive and they're still very powerful. And apparently a technological powerhouse. Not only are they more advanced than us, they invented the printing press. Emperor Altan IV, same dynasty, a direct descendant of Genghis Khan too. That is fucking wild. They are Orthodox too, yeah. I think even Genghis Khan's son converted originally. Japan has taken, I think Midway, isn't that? Yep, Japan currently owns Midway. Japan's also colonial. Both of Japan are colonial too. The Yusugai and the Hosakawa are very balanced, and they both have colonies. Look how far they made it. Yeah, both Japans are like competing colonially with each other. The western coast of America is Japanese. They're in Mexico too. Yeah, the East and the Americas are very, 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 very strong this game. These civilizations on the western coast, apparently they're very rich. So after this war, we're gonna start preparing that. A great expedition will bring over a lot of soldiers. Probably half of our forces in Europe, which is very risky, but we're past the point of being able to not take risks, really. Patron of the arts, technology cost reduction and idea cost reduction. That's really good. He's secretive and a patron of the arts. And a 444, a very competent chancellor right when we need it. That's why the monarchists won't try anything. They do know he's competent. Lysandro III would also see our dire position and probably not want to start a civil war. RP-wise, what is this, right? It's a situation where two of the warring clans, or the warring shoguns in, what the fuck are they called? Warring states period. They essentially managed to unite the north and the south against each other, and they're so equally matched they just created a Cold War. And as a result, they fought very few battles on the mainland. Instead, militarily and technologically, they've innovated to outcompete each other, and they've created a colonial war to outpace another economically. I mean, that is so fucking cool. To our government right now, to Chancellor Simeon, who is a very capable and very wise man who has overseen a lessening, perhaps, but still very much a continuation of the fall of Sardinia. Expansion in the New World is just not enough. It really isn't. We can see in Lysandria in the north that we can't compete there at all. There's only one place that he knows where we are currently going to be uncontended against the Western tribes. They're all allied with each other, though. We could use another ally. We'll go with Bohemia then. I don't expect them to honor any of our wars, though. The powerful merchant was to show gratitude to our efforts of patrolling the seas and have gifted us 3 fucking carracks. Hell yeah. Right. Well, Byzantium will be no help. We'll have to do this ourselves then. This is what I was saying. Cusco has become a tributary of the Hosakawa. We'll have to fight the Hosakawa if we want to get Cusco. We can only really go after the Quito like we originally wanted to, so we're gonna have to kind of move the timeline forward on all this. If we get a bit stronger, I think we could actually contain Hosakawa for Cusco. We'll have to be able to defeat their navy, because we can't defeat their army, which is doable. I think we do have more heavy ships than them. Establishing colonial subjects overseas has allowed us to expand our trade while remaining in control, importing goods from lands that are essentially under Carsa Sardinia control. As long as we supply our colony with what they need, they have no reason to start putting gold in the hands of our enemies. Sadly, the settlers sometimes have a different opinion of our king on what exactly they need, and have begun to trade with neighboring colonies and natives. We are not going to allow that. We are going to push mercantilism even harder. God damn it. The fucking Spanish beat us to it. Look. Alright, the Hosakawa have officially established a colony on the western coast of Arcadia. That means we have no choice but to come into full-on contention with them. Oh my god, what is going on in Europe? Castalla is currently at war with France and Lombardy, and they are fighting Lotharingia and Castalla. France is going to get partitioned by Lotharingia and Castalla, like they needed more power. You know, the French could have an ally who would actually be able to support them right now if they hadn't fucking betrayed us, but no. No. They had to fucking throw us under the bus. So this time, we're gonna fucking watch. We're gonna found a colony right next to the Hosakawa settlement, which will put us formally in contention with them. If we build up our navy, I think we can beat them in a naval battle. This is the strongest we've been in a while. We're not gonna get another chance like this, I don't think, for a while. And if we don't secure Western Arcadia, we're gonna be relegated to a minor power. There's no other way to put it, at best. Assuming we survive. This is our one shot. All right, so RP-wise, what has happened? Our current leader, Simeon, Chancellor Simeon, has been in power for a long time. I think he's been in power for a good 20 years now. He's overseen and done the best he can to strengthen our colonial holdings in Arcadia. Seeing and knowing now, well, we have maps, charts, and the technology of the East is almost more advanced than our own, if not more advanced in certain areas. We have like publications and papers and all manner of documents on the East knowing about the region in some ways. And we know about the strength of the Hosakawa. We also know that they lack the navy that we do. Our navy in Europe is weak because of the naval arms race that arguably we kind of created in the early days of EU4, where we built up a great navy and the others had to, and so forth. We've been completely outpaced in Europe. We can't compete there anymore. But compared to the East, besides the Ming, of course, we can. Knowing this, and knowing the delicate situation, and also knowing that our country doesn't always have a history of good rulers, Chancellor Simeon is going to prepare a war against the Hosakawa to offset their influence in the Cusco region, as well as Arcadia as a whole. The goal of this will be not only to push them out of Western Arcadia, but will also be to take some of their islands, if we can, in the Pacific. Protestantism is completely dominant in Scandinavia. Sweden is the main Protestant country. Hungary and then Romania, Romania have also gone Protestant. To Northeast Pacific. Wow, Hosakawa, California is huge. We can see their capital, which is San Francisco. We brought our forces across, bring them down south so they can make the crossing when needed. All right, with this, we will declare war on the Hosakawa. It will probably take like 8 months for them to even know. See if we can knock out their fleet on the west coast here. We do have a port. Oh, yep, there's their fleet. Fuck, I wish I had it over there to start off with. If we can knock that out, it's huge. A lot of men are gonna die crossing. Crossing the Argentinian fucking plateau with almost no proper supplies. There it is. Hold up. Let's try and chase them down. We have. Oh, we might be able to get them here. Come on. Big. That's their whole transport fleet. If we knock that out, they can't get any troops to us. Fucking huge. Their whole Arcadian navy are gone. Hosakawa has no way to get troops to us now. That's massive. They can't do anything. We'll be able to get to California now too. They can't stop us. Oh, this is looking good. We just keep exploring in the meantime, I think. Wiped almost the remainder of their fleet. They only got away with 3 transports. Is this the fucking comeback moment for Sardinia? We need it. If their troops are actually stuck there. Wow. Yeah, the Hosakawa are not giving them... Fuck, they gave them access. Are we gonna have to send the rest of our troops? We might get stack wiped here. I don't think we have time to make it out. Let's try and escape with what we have. Jesus Christ. Did we get out with anything here? I don't think we do. We can't ask for peace because we don't have the territory we need either.